Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/ProRevenge. In today's episode, when trying to get your deposit back from your landlord is like drawing blood from a stone. Cancel me leave. Say goodbye to your promotion. Don't want to return my tools or pay me. Enjoy losing your business. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. When trying to get your deposit back from your landlord is like drawing blood from a stone. Holy crap, this was much longer than I expected after typing it out. I tried to shorten it as much as possible, but here it goes. Back in 2018, I had a temporary internship in California at insert large tech company, so I took a recommendation from a friend about a room for rent. It would be living with 5 other people, but otherwise, it looked fantastic with spacious common areas, multiple huge TVs, full amenities, community rec center with pool, short drive times to multiple places of interest, all for $650 per month, utilities included. I contacted the landlord, whom I will refer to as Shitty Landlord. He seemed fine on the phone, so I sent him my security deposit to move in a month later. When it came time to move in, I discover a few caveats that came with this low rent price. The common areas were all dusty, none of the 3 large TVs worked properly. If we wanted access to the rec center and pool, we'd need to pay the $80/MO membership fee, and all of the short drives time estimates were exaggerated, unless you were speeding at 2x the speed limit. Whatever, it's not the end of the world, especially at the relatively low price. I'll survive. But then it got worse in the coming months. Shitty Landlord decided to charge us an extra $20 per month for paper towels and public cleaning supplies. Shitty Landlord only checked the community mailbox once a week when he was in town and refused to trust anybody with the mailbox key. As it starts to roll into the summer, in June, Shitty Landlord decided that AC costs too much, and we were using too much, so he removed the thermostat from the wall. Okay. One day some of us tenants confronted him when he was at the house, since Shitty Landlord also slept at the house about less than 1 day per week, and I'll never forget his words as he rushed out of the house. It's legal for me to do it, and I don't care since I don't have to live here. Well sir, fuck you. I'm tilted as fuck at this guy's obvious money grab from 6 tenants. Well, it turns out he's right, he legally doesn't need to provide air conditioning. So, the next day I purchase a high BTU freestanding portable air conditioner that exhausts out the window. Holy shit, this thing was luxury. Of course I pump my room to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, the lowest setting. We have a couple other minor disagreements that wind up with Shitty Landlord texting me that it's fine if I wanted to break my lease and move out early. Perfect. When Shitty Landlord finally gets a whiff of my AC setup, he comes to my room to complain about my AC unit. I reply curtly. It's legal for me to do it, and I don't care since I don't have to pay for electricity. He leaves and later sends me a text. Yeah, okay. Unbeknownst to Shitty Landlord, I'm taking his move-out offer seriously, and this whole time, I've been rallying the troops. All the tenants have been upset about everyone's living situation, so with some minor encouragement, I managed to convince 2 of the other 6 tenants to move out at the same time as me. They were on a month-to-month arrangement. I finally submit all our notices of intent to vacate at the same time, barely a week after my previous conversation with Shitty Landlord. He's pissed. He was just trying to get me out of the house, but now he has 3 rooms to fill instead of just 1. I ask about my legally mandated pre-move-out inspection. In no uncertain terms he told me to go fuck myself. He said he's too busy to perform an inspection. Well, that's illegal, but okay. Time comes to move out. I found another room for rent much closer to the office for only $100/MO more. We all move out and I text Shitty Landlord about my security deposit. No response. I text again. No response. Okay, I see where this is going. I spend days and days reading the law, compiling evidence/screenshots, and listing the laws that were broken. The smoking gun was the statute that requires a pre-move-out inspection, and a list of things to fix, an itemized list of deductions within 21 days, or else Shitty Landlord loses the right to withhold any of my deposit. In addition, he would be subject to treble damages if he's found to be acting in bad faith. I text again and again. I give him plenty of leniency, and I even cite the laws, so I can prove in court that I'm acting in good faith and shitty landlord intentionally ignored the laws that I made him aware about. Shitty landlord probably thinks I'm a young pushover college student who won't follow through with legal threats. Well sir, we're going to court because I'm petty as fuck when it comes to people trying to fuck me over. I file in small claims for $650 plus treble damages, plus court costs. Shitty landlord files a counterclaim of $2,000 for damages to the property claiming I caused flooding, and I broke the microwave. Okay buddy. In response, I gather testimonies from 3 of the other tenants, and I build my case into a 40-page packet of evidence, complete with page numbers, a table of contents, and descriptions for every screenshot and photo. I make 3 copies of everything and submit it to the court and the defendant shitty landlord. The court date is set for November, and I leave the state just before Christmas, so just in time to appear in person since my internship ends, and I fly home in December. He starts filing to requests to postpone the trial. He cites a doctor's appointment and the motion is granted. Court date is rescheduled for a month later, in December, but still before I fly home. New court date approaches and he files another request to postpone, citing another doctor's appointment. Somehow that motion is granted as well and we're rescheduled yet again to January. Darn. January rolls around and surprise surprise, guess who's got another doctor's appointment conveniently on the same exact day of the trial? Denied. The court finally got of his bullshit and denied the motion because he can't prove he scheduled the doctor's appointment prior to the court date being moved. Welp. I'm not in CA anymore, I'm across the country on the East Coast. Shitty landlord thinks if I'm no longer in the state, he'll automatically win since I'm not willing to fly back to CA. Well, unbeknownst to shitty landlord, California courts offer an option to appear by telephone. Haha. Court day comes and I get the call. I'm sworn in and then connected to the court. I'm given time to present my case. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare a script, so I kinda summarized the events and explain why I deserve money. Then shitty landlord gets time to defend himself and explain his counterclaim. He doesn't prepare anything either, and he ends up rambling about random shit that doesn't help his case at all. For example, he spends a lot of time explaining how another one of the tenants was shitty, and so his behavior was justified. He doesn't even have a sliver of evidence for his counterclaim when the judge asks for it. The judge asks a few more questions and announces that he'll review the evidence, and we'll get the decision in the mail. A couple weeks later, I get the judgment saying I'm owed $650, shitty landlord gets nothing. Well damn, no treble damages for me. However, it's just my luck the shitty landlord is a piece of shit that won't accept defeat. He files an appeal for who knows what. It's granted. Redo trial is scheduled for May. This time I'm 10x more prepared. Once again, I'm sworn in, and then they connect me to the courtroom speaker. This time I have a hashed out script that I read, making sure to emphasize how often I informed shitty landlord of the law, how often shitty landlord knowingly broke the law, and how I offered so much leniency, and so many opportunities to do the right thing. Once again, shitty landlord doesn't prepare anything, but instead rambles on so much that even the judge tells him to get back on track multiple times. Shitty landlord claims I caused water damage and had to replace all the carpets. The judge asks for an invoice or receipt. He has none. Shitty landlord claims I broke the microwave, so the judge reads him the 3 witness statements that all state I didn't break the microwave. Shitty landlord says they're all lying. He still has no evidence whatsoever. At this point, the judge clearly sounds done with his shit and says we'll get his decision in the mail, and the call ends. A couple weeks later, I get the judgment. I'm owed $1,800 and shitty landlord still gets nothing. Well damn, would you look at that? His appeal did not quite work out for him. He goes from owing $650 to owing me $1,800. Being the shithead that he is, he files for a mistrial, claiming I was not sworn in, and that I lied in my testimony. Denied. Outside of court, shitty landlord offers a payment plan of $20 per month which will take 7.5 years to pay back, or otherwise he refuses to pay up. Okay, I see how collecting my money is going to be. I figure out he banks at BOA by looking up the checks I gave him for rent and seeing where they got cashed. I file for a writ of execution that will allow me to perform a bank levy. It's granted, so I prepare a packet for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department to go to BOA and take his money. Laxt serves him with papers and orders BOA to freeze his account. After his allotted time, 30D, to contest the seizure, LACSD seizes his money, plus 10% APY interest, plus sheriff fees. I finally get the glorious check in the mail, 20 months after moving out. I'll probably frame it. Total, $1,893.91. Cancel me leave. Say goodbye to your promotion. Error in title should read as cancel my leave. Say goodbye to your promotion. I used to work in a disability shared accommodation agency. It's a job where you support 4 to 6 people with disabilities who share the accommodation. It's shift work, 2 clients per staff member during the day, 1 staff member on a sleepover at night. The rosters are 4-week rotating rosters. I was employed as a 0.75, meaning I work 75% of what is considered full-time, equating to 57 hours a fortnight. Working shifts sucked, but the pay was good. I was working in a house I'll call Sunup. Sunup had 4 residents and 7 workers. Each house had a house supervisor. They reported to the cluster manager, who managed 6 houses. Cluster managers reports to the CEO. By company policy, leave requests are first and best dressed, meaning you need to put your leave in early to ensure you get it. I was transferred to Sunup from a 6-client house due to my qualifications and situations I cannot legally disclose. I worked for the first year, got to know staff, clients, house supervisor, etc. There was an obvious clique between 4 staff members. Each school holidays, 3 would apply for leave, and 1 would call in sick with a medical certificate covering the same amount of time. They would always rotate who was sick to hide what they were up to. They were friends outside of work who would party together. After a year, the house supervisor fell sick. One of the clique members, Karen, was appointment acting supervisor, and it went to hell. She tried reducing my hours and giving extra time to a friend. I pointed out that I'm contracted for 57 hours a fortnight, so I'm getting paid for 57 hours a fortnight. Her friends got extra shifts. We're given the best shifts, and we're all around favored by Karen. In January, I put in leave for March school holidays. Karen rejected on the grounds that others had already submitted leave. Her clique all applied for this time. I left this alone. In March I checked the leave calendar for the June school holidays. Each house had a leave calendar so management and staff can check who scheduled leave is. It was empty. I submitted leave again and it was rejected. Karen said sorry, you were too slow. Karen said that A, B and C, clique, already submitted leave. The next day the leave calendar showed this. In May I checked Christmas leave calendar, put in my leave and sure enough, got the same result. This annoyed me as I have a family that I wanted to take on holiday. I spoke to the cluster manager, also a part of the clique, who said there's nothing I can do. Note, I had no leave taken in 2 years. January the following year, the clique was on holiday. We had a gastro outbreak across our facilities, so we were short staff. All available staff, including CEO, were covering shifts. I was rostered on with the CEO 1 shift. During the shift he said to me, you have a bit of leave accumulated. You should probably take some. Mia put in 3 requests last year, all were rejected as others apparently already applied for those dates. CEO, let's lock in your leave now. Me okay, how about 4 weeks over Christmas? I filled out the form, CEO signed it off. He filled out the leave calendar and put my application in Karen's pigeonhole. I was on sleepover that night so I took my application, photocopied it for myself and replaced under the mountain of paperwork in her pigeonhole knowing she wouldn't see it for a few months. In March I checked the leave calendar, I noticed my Christmas leave disappeared replaced with Karen, A, B and C. I didn't say anything as I had a leave form with CEO's signature. Fast forward October, original house supervisor passed away, acting supervisor was appointed permanent supervisor by the cluster manager with a mandatory 3-month probation. December comes around, first week of my leave, I get a call from Karen. Where are you? Me, on leave. Karen, I didn't approve any leave, get your ass to work now. I come in, Karen chews me out stating she didn't get an application form. Karen went on to say even if you submitted it I would reject it as you should know by now that we always take 2 weeks in December/January. She wrote me up for insubordination. I worked that shift. When Karen left I emailed the CEO filling him in on what happened. He called a meeting me and Karen. CEO, what happened? Karen cutting me off took it upon himself to approve leave. I wrote him up for skipping work. Me, actually I submitted leave in January while you were away. Karen, no you didn't. CEO, yes he did. I approved it and added it to the leave calendar. Karen, oh. We already had 4 staff booked on leave. CEO, show me the leave forms. Karen, I destroyed them. Me handing Karen my copy of my form signed by the CEO. CEO, OP is on leave. I'm going to sunup, and I'm investigating this situation. OP, my apologies, go home, I'm extending your leave by an extra week. I go home. I come in 4.5 weeks later to be told that Karen has lost her promotion. She is thin ice. CEO found out that Karen has been rejecting leave requests. She shredded my request without looking past the date. She deleted my leave from the calendar. The CEO told Karen that this borders on fraud. The CEO also separated the clique to different houses. He changed the leave policy to state that he must sign off leave requests. In addition to house supervisor and cluster managers, he ensured that all staff had access to prime leave dates. Karen was fired 2 weeks later for failing audit requirements. Don't want to return my tools or pay me? Enjoy losing your business. This is my repost from r/ProRevenge that might be better suited for this subreddit, anyways. I'm a trade painter that worked for around 5 years, essentially running a company for an owner who took a very hands-off approach. He was essentially a name and working capital and not much else. After getting an offer to work for a bigger commercial company and my old boss's realization he would have to run his own company as there really wasn't anyone else in-house that was qualified, he resorted to acting like a child to try and make me stay. Made me run around the world to receive my final pay, which I never even got, and refused to return my tools spread throughout various jobs. Revenge time. As luck would have it, another even better offer from an even bigger company ended up in my lap that wanted to subcontract me a very substantial amount of their work, but I'm going to need more employees for that. So I go through and call each and every member of the original company and offer them a $3 an hour raise to work for me, which all of them accepted. After all, they know me, they've worked for me for years, and it's more money, no brainer. They barely know the owner, and what they do know, they don't like, LOL. I then asked them to grab only my tools, which was the vast majority of tools on all the jobs, from their respective jobs when they leave for the weekend on Friday. Monday rolls around and my old boss is getting calls left and right from supervisors asking why nobody's at work and what's going on. He was so hands-off he didn't even have employees' phone numbers to call and ask them LMAO. He's essentially without employees and little to no tools to complete any jobs at this point. Fast forward 6 months and his company has now closed. He's lost all his work. His new addition to his house has come to a grinding halt halfway through construction. He's hurting big time. I never got my last check, but I did get a great group of workers and a company of my own, so I guess I'll just call it even. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.